Welcome to the show, where it's our vision to embed a passion for lifelong learning through nurturing aspirations in an engaging way that inspires learners to become self-confident, open-minded, creative thinkers who make a really positive impact in the world they live. Build your house with the end in mind and the plan in hand. When you teach your lessons, just make sure that you've got the end of your lessons in mind, what is your desired outcome, and make sure you've got your plan ready so that you know each of those 4 sections of your lesson and how they're going to be delivered. That's going to give you a real clear and simple structure today about how you can scaffold your lesson to make sure that your planning becomes easier and your outcomes become more effective. The 4-stage learning process includes 4 key criteria, which is to activate the learning nice and early, acquire the learning, apply the learning, and then assess the learning. So let's talk about activate. We spoke about this more in detail in a previous video, but can you activate the learners? Can you get them inspired and engaged actively straight away as soon as they walk in the door? Your activate should really be linked to what they learned previously and what they're going to learn today. It also should allow children to reflect and think about what they learned last week and how that they can perform better in today's lesson. The acquire phase gets the children to think more deeply about today's learning objective and how they can develop a new skill or technique. When you're in the acquire phase, model the clear outcomes that you want the children to achieve and then consider how you can step back and encourage the children to be more pupil focused, more pupil led in their learning. Can they collaborate and give peer assessment to each other so that they're all making continuous and self-reflective improvement as opposed to it being sort of 80%, 90% teacher-led. The next stage is to apply the learning. This is the really important bit that many teachers miss, and it gets really tricky sometimes to fit it in time-wise. But can you play a conditioned game that is linked to the learning objective? Can you get the children to perform in front of a wider audience or perhaps in front of the whole class? Can you get the children to actually apply the learning, take what they've learned, that specific technique or skill, and apply it in a wider context? Because we really want children to be able to take the learning outside of the 4 walls of the classroom and apply it in a meaningful contextual manner. The 4th thing to be thinking about, which should be happening all the way through the lesson for sure, but perhaps is being more deeply considered towards the end, is assess. What is it that your children have learned today? Have they learned something, or have you just been teaching? So really look at when they're doing those performances, have they actually developed the skill? Have they acquired the skill and applied it in meaningful context throughout the application phase? Can they self-reflect? Can they self-evaluate and consider that with their peers? What is the learning objective? What is the success criteria? How close are we to that? And how can we prove? Ask those clear and scaffolded questions to make your assessment easier and more refined. What did you learn? How do you know? How could you improve? Can you prove it to me? So if they come up with an answer, asking them can they prove it to you is a real clear and refined way to assess actually if they know it. Because they may think they know it, but you can then assess and see if they really know it. And that really gives you strong positioning to restructure. Did I teach the lesson did I make the lesson too challenging? Did I make it too easy? Do I need to progress? Do I need to reteach next lesson? And that really just gives you an substantial but strong, firm and solid foundation to your learning, so your house doesn't collapse. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and if you know somebody that might benefit from watching it, please be sure to share this video with a friend. If there's something that you would like us to cover in our show, please drop a comment in the comments box below. We'd love to hear from you. Have a fantastic week.